All right, we got Carol and Mike. How long you guys been married?
35 years.
35 years, very nice. Mike's lost almost 30 pounds in the last few months, and we're gonna flip a 450-pound tire. Use good form.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Up, in there, use those legs. Get underneath it. Let's go 2 more times.
1, 2, 3.
That's it, drive with those legs, core engaged, beautiful. One more.
1, 2, 3.
That's it. Good work. Looking good. Give her a high five there. Hey, this is Dustin Maher at the Transformation Center here in Madison, Wisconsin. I've got an amazing couple to introduce you to here today. We've got Carol and Mike, and they come all the way from Indiana, correct? About what, 6-hour drive?
About a 6-hour drive.
6-hour drive, and they've been coming here for about 6 months now, approximately once every month. To train, and then they get their workouts, they get their DVDs, and they go home and do it and support each other. So we'll start with you, Carol. I would love just to hear kind of, I don't know, the differences you've had. And first, your age, too.
I am 58.
Awesome, 58.
Yeah.
Going strong towards 60.
Yes.
And you climbed Kilimanjaro.
I did.
A few years ago.
Yes, 3 years ago.
Which I think is amazing. That's on my bucket list. Yeah, just kind of want you to share a little bit about the last 6 months. I know it's been a challenging time for you personally as well.
It has been a challenge. I've never been a thin person, but I've always been strong. And I just decided I really wanted to take off this weight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I signed up with you, and lo and behold, had surgery a month later. So I couldn't work out strong for 2 months. And actually,
It was unrelated to exercise, let's make that clear.
It was unrelated to exercise. Had a hysterectomy, and so hormonal changes, everything, along with a daughter getting married, and both of my parents in hospice care and dying. And so it's been an incredibly stressful time.
Mm-hmm.
Also a time out of my environment, away from my community, and support. In which case, I didn't have control over the foods in my home, and you know, when it was in sight,
Right.
under stress, I realized I really do turn to food.
Yeah. So you know, you've kind of gone back and forth. You lost a little bit of weight. But more than that, you still gain strength. You're a lot fitter.
Absolutely.
You've lost some inches. And, you know, we were talking today a little bit. Why don't you share kind of what things maybe could have been like if you weren't exercising?
The progress I have made is I have gotten off of all caffeine. I was totally addicted to caffeine. I was doing good if I had 5 to 6 hours of sleep at night. And then I'd rely on sugar and caffeine to pick me up and make it through the day. And now I sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I sleep at least 7 hours a night is my goal. Drink my 3 quarts of water, totally off caffeine, totally off all the fake sugars.
That's great.
I think I got away from the question.
You're doing great. She's made a lot of progress too.
So what I realize is, and by the way, I can fit into my wedding dress. Like I said, I've never been a thin person, and my goal isn't to be thin. I mean, like bone thin, but I can fit into my wedding dress after 35 years of marriage.
That's
and
awesome.
5 children.
That's impressive.
Had I not been coming here for the last 6 months, I probably would have given up after my surgery, working out, feeling like, okay, I've had a hysterectomy, no hormones, let it all go to pot, and gain 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so exercise is so important for life's challenges when, from an emotional standpoint and everything else. So yeah, thanks for sharing. Mike, you have taken our program to heart and just made some incredible transformations. So why don't you just kind of, I guess, give the stats or share a little bit about the last 6 months?
Oh, sure. Started back in September of last year, and I was about 30 pounds heavier than what I am now. And I was really addicted heavily to the fake sugars. I would drink about 3 quart bottles a day of the G2, thinking it was healthy for me.
Yeah.
And I was eating, not real unhealthily, but I was eating a lot of bread and a lot of cakes on occasion and things of that nature. So
Carbs.
a lot of carbs. I'd have cereal sometimes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that's no exaggeration. So having come here, it changed my diet, it changed how I exercise, it changed pretty much how I live. So yeah, I've changed everything. I've given up all fake sugar, I've given up caffeine, I've given up all bread, haven't had bread really in 6 months, and really don't miss it at all. The caffeine I don't miss either. The exercise, I'm doing it, 3 days on, 1 day off, and it's working out really well. Hit a bit of a plateau here recently, but you and I talked this morning about jump starting some things and doing things differently, so it's going to be good.
And you've had a lot of surgeries. You've had a lot in your feet, so you're a lot of limitations there, somewhat in your shoulder as well.
Right.
But you've worked through them, and you've made some just incredible progress on the way you move. You were sharing about your yard work. Why don't you share a little bit about that?
Well, I love doing yard work. We have a big yard, gardens, and I noticed doing work this past week, I can move easier. And we do these lunges, and I hate lunges. I don't like them a bit. But I recognized when I started doing the yard work, I was able to stoop down and bend and get down to get things done easier. So even though it's painful and hard to do, and I don't like doing them, I can really see the benefit and how it's worked out.
A lot less moaning, and are you on a lot less pain medication?
The pain, I'm not taking any pain meds at all.
And you were before?
I had been. Well, I hadn't been taking them for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I was taking quite a bit of Tylenol and ibuprofen, but I'm pretty much all off of that stuff now too. So.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And one of the catalysts for you guys doing this was your daughter, I think, right?
Yes.
So their daughter, her name's Mary, and she was doing my DVD program from, was it Kentucky?
From Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky. And she lost 95 pounds, somewhere around there, and it really changed her life. And I interviewed her recently, and yeah, she was like in tears, just saying how proud she is of you guys being an example. And she said, especially for you, that this added 10 years of life to you.
I think so.
I know
hope
that
so.
I feel like I was going to lose him, and based on the addiction to the fake sugar, and I'm just really, really
It's been
thankful.
a major
Thankful.
change.
Cool. Awesome. So last question I have, I guess, people are watching this, maybe they've never heard of the Transformation Center, or maybe they just haven't exercised for a long time, or maybe they have a gym membership. You have a gym membership, I know, and they're just maybe not getting the results, and they're thinking they're too old, or they're afraid of injuring themselves. What would you say?
I would say that definitely the strength training and you pushing on the video, the encouragement on the video to push a little bit harder, to keep going, makes a huge difference. The steady state cardio felt good at the time, but no results.
Yeah, so working with a trainer, you can have good form, and we can know when to push you and when to say, you know what, we should lighten that up. I told him today he was doing something that was just a little too heavy, and we backed away for a little bit. So I think that's a great point. And yeah, tweaking the workouts too. If you have been working out quite consistently, we can take you to that next level. How about you, Mike?
Well, the biggest encouragement I can give anyone is don't give up, because I've had 10 major orthopedic operations over the years, and it's easy to kind of feel sorry for yourself and not want to do anything because of pain and stiffness and discomfort, but you just have to work through it, and gosh, if I can do it, anybody can.
Yeah,
so that's
awesome.
pretty much all.
Well, it's been an honor to work with you. I look forward to continuing on, and thanks you guys for watching this, and hopefully if you're inspired by this, if you want to take action, I would love to meet you. My staff here is just incredible at working with anybody in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. So thanks again, and look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care.